Hey there, this is Darren, founder at Denzity. Welcome to Denzity Insights, where we interview real estate experts for their expertise and opinions and help you to learn more about all things real estate. The PropTech landscape has been growing at breakneck speed for the past 2 years. However, many traditional investors still have yet to adapt PropTech in their real estate investment and workflows. In this episode, we have Vishalsai at MyPropty, Kyle at Roots, and Gary at RealInflo to give you a strong overview on how to fully optimize on PropTech in your real estate investment search and property management. Whatever concern you might have, the three are ready to address them, giving a solid case as to why you should start with PropTech anyway. I am personally excited to be involved in this PropTech evolution. I can foresee many exciting solutions popping up over the coming years to make our lives just a little more convenient and hassle-free. Here's the future of real estate. Now, without further ado, let's get the show rolling. As always, you can find everything we mentioned in this episode in the show notes, including our thoughts, more about the guests, and all the tips and tricks. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button like you mean it to get our regular updates. Now, take a deep breath and buckle up for the show. Hope you enjoy.
Hey everyone, Fish, Kyle, and Gary, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us there.
For the past year, COVID has allowed PropTech become such a big phenomenon. And I'm really glad that all of us are in one room to talk more about, let the audience know about why it's getting bigger and how they can be part of it. So let's start with you, Fish. PropTech has been around for many years, but why has it been now that becomes so popular? Why are so many PropTech startups popping out of nowhere?
Well, thanks, Darren, for having us. With regards to PropTech, it has actually been around for a very, very long time. There were first solutions being developed over 20 plus years ago that helped in the construction sector, in the asset management sector, and even listing portals has actually been around for a very long time. In terms of why things have advanced so rapidly in the recent history, I would say it would break down into three main areas. Firstly, being COVID. I think that's without a doubt one of the big factors that has driven change from top to bottom with real estate corporations and with individuals. Another sector has actually been the advancement of certain technologies. So if you look at tech such as virtual reality that has helped do tour planning of different places, better data management processes and tools, all of this has helped build out significantly more tools that you can build upon. The third point I feel that has really pushed a lot of change in the real estate sector is success stories. If you look in the last few years, there have been several different companies that have gone IPO, raised tremendous valuation, and that success in itself has driven a lot more capital entering the PropTech space. And as more capital enters the space, you have more startups looking to build solutions in the space as well.
So in your experience with MyPropty, has people more accept your solution, or like how do they behave and how do they think about having technology managing their assets?
So that's a very good question, Darren. So in terms of MyPropty, I would say COVID definitely did have a very big impact. Prior to COVID, small to medium landlords didn't necessarily think of process optimization much. They were able to do things the way they've been doing it for many years. And so there was no real urgency to change things. However, we've seen in the last year when people are looking to adopt different technology solutions, we have helped them improve their process performance quite significantly. One of the tools that we actually built was for them to send out their vacant listings to several property agents and collect data in terms of which agents are actually engaging with their listing. In a time when there are so many different vacancies, it's quite easy for certain landlords to kind of get lost in the WhatsApp chats and different conversations with different agents. But with some of this structured data, landlords are then able to make more proactive decisions in terms of how to improve their property portfolio performance.
So, Kyle, your solutions give better choice for real estate investors. Would you mind telling the audience about how technology can help that? And then would you mind using your startup, The Roots, as example?
Sure. We actually think that technology will definitely help real estate investors. And if you think about the past 10, 20 years, how startups have grown, we actually can see that startups, especially aggregator startups, has been one of the most successful sectors. If you think about it, Amazon, Alibaba, Expedia, they're all aggregators that has tremendous success in the market. And we still believe that aggregators will continue be the best because people or users, end users in general, will always want to find the best product and service available. If you think about it, back 50, 100 years ago, shopping malls put together are for the same reasons too. They're aggregators, putting different products and services together for end users to conveniently find the best product and service available. And by the help, or through the help of technology, we think that as a technology aggregator, we definitely think that real estate investors will largely benefit through that. For example, Roots actually is an aggregator in the mortgage space in the real estate sector. So traditionally, people, if they want to find the best interest rates, best offers from the banks for mortgage, they will have to go to the different banks themselves and ask for it. But taking Hong Kong as an example, there's 20 banks in Hong Kong that offers mortgage services. Are you going to go to every single bank one by one to ask for the best offer? It will definitely take you a lot of time. And the worst thing is that going into branch A of, let's say, Bank PTI versus branch B of Bank PTI could give you different verbal offers. But what Roots is able to do as an aggregator through technology is to filter out all the different offers available out there and find the real estate investors the best offer available.
You know, a lot of real estate people, their fear is that technology can replace human, right? Do you agree with it or disagree with that notion?
If you have to ask me, I definitely disagree with that statement. The reason is because if you think about your previous experience online with the different aggregators, let's say Amazon or Alibaba or even Expedia, to a certain point, you might actually need some human element or human touch services to help audience or your end users to solve some very specific problems. So we feel that these technology that we have today will come hand in hand with the human touch services. So all in all, technology will definitely not replace the human element in it. It will definitely be needed on both sides.
So you know how in Hong Kong on the street, there are 4,000 real estate agents will have pamphlets giving you cards, giving you things. So you think that technology will not replace them at all?
Well, I think there's some sort of aspects of the business will definitely be more efficient through technology. But as an end user, why shopping malls are still available today, why people still want to go out and shop is because they want that experience. They want the experience of the attention. And we feel that customer service will be able to give end users the attention that they need. So while technology will provide some aspect of the service more efficiently, the customer service will always be there for our end users.
So Gary, among all of us, you're the one who have a lot of work with data, RealInflo. It's very easy for a real estate investor to think that their intuition is the best. I'm sure you heard that a lot, right? When you're talking to clients, right? So how would you think about that? Like, is it like, how would data be better than a lot of real estate investor or pros or moguls in Hong Kong that data can provide more information or they can beat the intuitions that the experience they have?
Thanks, Aaron. That's a very good question. I think intuition will always play a part. And I think that is, a vital piece of the puzzle when you're deciding, should I buy this property, for example. But it can only, be part of the puzzle. For example, and I think one reason why we mainly rely on intuition at this time is just because there's been sheer amounts of data out there, but we haven't had the tools, to analyze it, to make use of it. For example, now if you're an investor looking to buy, for example, a grade A office building, you need all of this kind of data, zoning information, transaction history, particulars of the building, what is like peer building information, for example. But then to get all of that data and, make use of it, we go through lots of manual processes. We have to go through spreadsheets, you have to call around industry peers, you need to go through lease documents, building plans. There's so much data. And then often once we get all of that information, we put it back into a spreadsheet, and it's like, okay, what can I do with this, right? We'll still only end up using a tiny piece of that information. And then even to answer basic questions, in real estate, it's like, should I buy this? Should I, if I buy it, should I redevelop it? Should I maintain it? Should I change the whole tenant mix, for example? But having access to all of this data, and as Kyle mentioned about aggregating, is seen at like a lot of success stories, not just in real estate, but other sectors as well. So what we do at RealInflo is we combine all of these disparate data points into a single source. So then you can instantly say, okay, is this building underpriced? Is it overpriced? Are the current tenants paying below market rent or above market rent? And once this goes into like even developing like your financial model, you can decide things a lot more quickly, and that's backed up by data and not just by thinking, okay, this is a good buy, right? And then once we, in addition to real estate, we've also seen a lot of like advancement in, say, financial industries. So having access to all of this data opens up huge new worlds. For example, location data, traffic flow. Once we start to combine all of this, it can be a lot more powerful and even open up new insights that you didn't think were possible before. So one more example is what we're doing at RealInflo is through a partnership with Dun & Bradstreet is combining, say, financial and company level data with real estate data to develop new insights. For example, all of your tenancies might, based upon your intuition, it might look like a very strong portfolio, but you dig deeper down into the company levels. How is this, company performing? Are they paying their bills on time? Are they paying their rent on time? And once you can uncover that instantly, you might find, okay, this is not a good buy, right? You might have several tenants who might be about to surrender their lease, but you couldn't tell this without these insights. So yeah, this is changing, and it's really becoming, a lot more driven through data, I would say.
I remember talking to a lot of my friends who are in real estate fund, and they always said, but dude, Darren, I don't want to get my data out there. I don't want to work with some aggregator and my data be out everywhere, and I don't know what they're using. Is that a misconception, or like, how would you think about that?
No, I think it's a very valid point, and I think if you've been working in the industry for so many years, this is like an instant thing that will come to mind. Because if you look at the whole, say, workflow process of if you're looking at a real estate investment, actually maybe 8 out of 10 steps, 80% of your time might be involved in sourcing and collating, analyzing basic real estate data. And actually that doesn't really value add, right? As we go back to, deciding by intuition, but it seems like you're doing a lot of work up front, but actually all of this data is out there and it's probably, repeated several times. So for example, every other company might be looking at building plans, at the lease documents, measuring out the floor areas, for example, but this doesn't actually add to your deciding, okay, whether I should buy this building or not, right? So we are actually just making things a lot more efficient. All of this data is actually out there. It's just, for example, for what RealInflo is doing, we are moving, offline processes online, but we are not actually, saying, okay, we're leaking a huge amount of data into the industry. We're just making it a lot more available. So you can, uncover new insights, you can create more value, unlock different opportunities that maybe you couldn't see before. So this will actually empower investors and everybody involved in real estate, you think?
We at Denzity, right? It's very obvious for us in the forefront to see a lot of people start relying on technology when investing in real estate. But in your point of view, as my peers and someone like me as a founders, how do you envision the way people invest in real estate in the future?
That's a very good question, Darren. How does people change their way of investing because of technology? I think the main things that technology provides to investors is transparency and more confidence when making any decision. Previously, when people would look at investing, they would do it based out of gut and intuition. However, similarly to other user experiences that people have, where they have large amounts of user reviews, large amount of comparables, that kind of access is not available in the real estate sector yet. So I see technology actually making it more accessible for everyone to get involved with similar levels of knowledge.
How about yourself?
I think I would add on to what Fish has said is the convenience aspect that would be brought into through technology and real estate investment, because as we all know, the whole point of bringing technology into any industry or the market in general is to bring convenience for our end users, make things more efficient. And the ultimate goal or the ultimate vision that I hope to see in the real estate market is to have the whole real estate purchase or the sale and purchase process be processed through online, which actually some parts of the world has started trying to transform into this way. Yet Hong Kong, we just started, and we see certain aspects of the whole real estate purchase transaction has been changing, but we still have a lot of room for improvement to make the whole process more convenient for end users. But again, all in all, I really hope to see that the whole purchasing process will be able to conveniently brought online for our end users.
Gary, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, just following what Vish and Kyle mentioned, I see 2 points. One is opportunities, and through that, I see like that through transparency, we can unlock new markets. For example, especially in Southeast Asia, a lot of markets, have been out of bounds, so to say, just because you can't get reliable or any kind of data. So, other markets, for example, Malaysia, Cambodia might become more open in the future. And then also in terms of opportunity, also within certain sectors, for example, when we think of real estate now, we might just think of retail, residential, industrial, but what about certain sub-sectors within that, you can open up some more opportunities.
As another founder in PropTech startups, I'm really happy that we're on the forefront to help the real estate industry to innovate. So I'll have all of you contact information in the show notes. And then I'll say thanks so much for being here. Hopefully that next year today we'll talk about going to the Mars, changing the world, shifting everything. So thanks a lot for being here. And then I'm really looking forward to see your work in the future.
Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Darren.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Majority of you don't stick around this far. So we're flattered and truly appreciate your attention. To return the favor, let us tell you our thought on this episode. These guests have strong backgrounds in important investment topics: how to manage properties, how to find suitable mortgages, how to determine investment options. We have merely scratched the surface of how technologies can help us invest in real estate, both locally and overseas. Working in the forefront of their fields, these guys had the opportunity to integrate technologies that would give their agencies a cutting-edge advantage over the rest of the competition. In their search for the best answers to the above, they figured out the best practice and tips on utilizing PropTech to its fullest extent, and are always on their curves with new solutions like leasing, tax solutions, changing the industry from within. We hope their collective wisdom will help propel you to invest in these innovations and take your business to the next level. We have a more detailed version of our thoughts in the show notes. Beside that, you can find more about the guests and all the tips and tricks we have mentioned in the show note too. Well, what do you think? Let us know in the comment section. Fun fact, do you know that more than 85% of you have subscribed to this show yet? Subscribe now to keep getting good stuff from us. Thanks for watching. What do you think of this episode? Please let us know in the comment below, and be sure to hit the subscribe button to keep in touch with us for upcoming videos. But before we go, I want to give a big shout out to Patina Design Lab. They're the one who help us in making our brand, art direction, as well as these videos. They are a strategic design consultancy firm to help businesses with a wide range of design services, from industrial design, branding, graphic design, art direction, content creation, and many more. They are a very talented bunch, and I urge you to check out their website for their work. That's all for today, and see you next time. Cheers.